Welcome to I'm Your Target Demographic, and today we are talking about the movie Mother. And Mother is the most divisive movie in recent memory. And what that means is some people love it. Greatest movie ever. Other people are disgusted and terrified and hate it. So now I'm going to answer the question, will you like Mother? Now this video is instead of a normal review because I'm not going to score this movie. Because if I give it a 5, people are going to go in with really high expectations and they're going to hate it. They're not prepared for it. If I give it a 1 because it is a kick in the face, other people are going to say, are you crazy? This is a masterpiece. It totally depends on you and your expectations of what you enjoy in films. So let me tell you if you will like this. You will not like this movie if you want a pleasant, carefree experience. You want to buy some popcorn and candy and enjoy a movie. Hey, it's the new Jennifer Lawrence movie. Let's go check it out. No, this movie doesn't make sense. Everything is metaphor. So the entire movie is just imagery and metaphor and kind of playing with, it's Aronofsky's kind of discussion on religion and the environment, but not in like a straightforward story because the story doesn't make sense. People don't act in logical ways. The world in this movie it is not like our world. So we can't hold our expectations of reality to this world. So that might frustrate a lot of you. That you're like, I just want a story that I can understand. This is an abstract painting that you look at and everyone might see something different and the artist might tell you, well, here's what I was trying to convey, and you're like, oh, okay, I can see that. But most people don't really like abstract paintings. They're just like, I don't know what it is, it's colors, it looks like a kid made it. You know, there's that argument. So that is why some of you may not like this. And even if you find yourself like, I will go in and I will go in with an open mind and we'll see what art he has created. Some of you still might not like this movie because it doesn't make sense. The metaphor doesn't always track. That sometimes I think Darren Aronofsky gets caught up in what he's trying to say and it spirals out of control. I was totally on board for what the metaphor is portraying and I got it. But then in the last third, I started to think, wait, is he talking about something else? Or what is that? And it felt complicated in a way that maybe wasn't intentional or wasn't well executed, like maybe there was something missing. So even if you go in thinking, I really want a thinker and I really want a movie that will challenge me, some of you may still find flaws in the execution. This movie is, like I said earlier, a kick in the face. It is hard to watch. It is depressing. If you've seen his other movies, this is not surprising. Black Swan, Requiem for a Dream. I love those movies, but I will never watch them again. I saw Requiem for a Dream once, and I was like, that is awesome. I'm good. And that is very much the way that Mother will make you feel. That you get it, and you're like, good, done. It made me anxious, even in the parts that weren't traumatic. Just the whole movie is kind of on edge and you're just like, and it's not a pleasant experience. So if you want to go to the movies because, like, I just want a fun night or I just want to enjoy a movie, this is not a movie that you enjoy. This is a movie you watch and you say, I get it, and that is art, and that's that. So if you go in with that mindset, you might enjoy it. There is a scene at the end that is a little, people are saying over the top. If you find yourself hesitant about this at all and you're like, that doesn't sound pleasant to me at all, I don't really appreciate artsy films, this scene will put you over the top. And you're like, no, no, no. There were people that walked out of my theater. It was a small group already. Some people left towards the end when they were like, I'm not here for this. So I'm not going to spoil what that is, but if you're already hesitant, look up what the scene is. You can find out for yourself. So now there are some things that I think are beneficial to know before you go in. So I'm going to put up a spoiler warning because I'm only spoiling the metaphor, like what you should be looking out for. Because I think if you go in with that perspective, and I went in with that perspective, that I kind of knew what he was talking about, you understand it, and it doesn't seem as chaotic and as confusing if you know this going in. It doesn't spoil the story beats, but it spoils the message, which I think you should know. It wasn't included in marketing, didn't really allude to this, but I think you should know. So if you want to see Mother, this sounds intriguing, and you want a little bit of a cheat sheet, cliff notes, before you go in, here's what you should look out for. Okay, so we're in spoiler territory now. Mother is Darren Aronofsky's tale of God and Mother Earth, which is why it's called Mother. So if you go in with the mindset that you're watching a relationship between God and Mother Earth throughout the course of time, this movie will make much more sense. That you will see big events from Old Testament times happening, and you're like, okay, I get it. It all tracks for the first 2/3 of the movie, and there's big events, and you're like, okay, that's those people. Some big actors show up that I was like, oh, cool, playing these different roles. But it's also about the environment aside from religion. So also there's some metaphors about the way we treat the world, and coming into this world that isn't ours, and trashing it, and the way we treat the world. Sometimes that lines up, those two metaphors. Other times I was very conflicted. So again, some of you may be on board, but then you're like, wait, and I can't really spoil it, but there were some parts where I was like, that's not the role that character played, or why is that character doing that? It didn't always stick. So if you go in with that mindset, know that it's God and Mother Earth, I think the movie will make a lot more sense to you for the most part. So that is it. I want to know what you thought of Mother. Are you in the huge percentage that was like, did not enjoy that at all? Or are you in the percentage of like, yes, that was cool and creative and art, and I get it, and it was interesting. No one will argue that it wasn't interesting. But I think the execution, people might argue, didn't work. So I'm not going to give it a score, but that's my thoughts on the movie Mother. Thanks for watching.